today to talk about my mom and her passing and feelings and emotions that come with that. A little bit of backstory about my mom. She was a housewife. She took care of us children. Up until probably I went to high school, and then she went and got her dental assistant degree, and she finally started working. Other than little odds and ends things as we were growing up. And after that, a few years later, she got pretty sick, and us kids didn't really know what was going on. We didn't know what the doctors was telling them. She just kept getting worse, and she ended up having to have a exploratory surgery February 6, 2006. We're up in Greenville. She goes in, the family's there, all of us kids, my dad, uncles, aunts, my grandma, the people that was here were there with us. So when they took her back, they gave us a little pager type thing. So when she got out of surgery, well, Dad went outside and gave me the pager. So I'm sitting there, pager goes off, Mom's done with surgery. So I go outside and I get Dad, and we go, because I wanted answers. I want to know what was going on with my mom. So me and my dad goes, and we talk to the doctor. And all I remember is kind of leaning up against the wall and kind of falling to the floor. That's when we found out that my mom had cancer. And that day, I thought that was going to be the worst day of my life. She spent some time at the hospital and stuff, and she came home. She went through her treatments. The last time I talked to the doctor said, things seemed to be getting a little bit better. Mom had a little bit more energy. Mom was starting to look okay. But she wasn't. And May 10th, 2006, just over 3 months after her surgery, after we found out that she had cancer, she passed away. So to backtrack a little bit, before we found out she had cancer, I was supposed to leave. I was going to Texas. My sister was out there. And afterwards, me and Mom talked, and I told her I wasn't going. That I couldn't leave her. But, she convinced me to go, convinced me that I needed to do for me, that I needed to live my life. So that's what my mom wanted. So I left. On March 10th, exactly 2 months before my mom passed away. hardest decisions I had to make to leave. And it brought so many more emotions, so many more feelings that I had to deal with over the last however many years. But that day that I got the phone call from my dad was the worst day of my life. And I remember it so clearly. I was in Dallas, Texas. I was driving to work. I was stopped at a stop sign, and it's like I already knew. Earlier that day, it seemed like I already knew. You know, I had called my brother. I had my brother go check on my mom. She was still okay. A couple hours later is when my dad called. And but I was at the red light, and my dad's number popped up. And it's like I knew. And like while he was on the phone with me, I didn't even feel like I could cry. I didn't feel like I could say much of anything, because I knew that I had to be strong for him. And so we talked, and in the mix of us talking, big pretty yellow butterfly landed on the hood of my car, and I knew it was my mom telling me that she's okay. She's out of pain. But some of the aftermath emotions that I want to talk about, that's what people don't know how to handle. That's what people don't know how to deal with, and I didn't either. You know, it was 6,058 days before I ever even mentioned some of the feelings that I dealt with after my mom's death. And I just don't know. But you know, there was feelings of abandonment, as if I abandoned my dad and my brother because I left. Feelings of hatred, questioning God, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about today. But these different emotions that I wanted to talk about. The first one is abandonment. You know, I feel as if I abandoned my dad and my brother when I left to go to Texas. I feel that I should have stayed. Not that it would have made any difference on the outcome, but I feel I should have stayed. I should have been there to help Dad with Mom. I should have been there to help Dad with the house, with my little brother. He was I say so young, but he was 20, and he shouldn't have had to deal with that much stress and pressure and stuff by himself and my dad. And I, you know, for many years, I questioned God. Why did he have to take my mom? I wasn't ready for her to leave. There were so many things that I still needed her for. There's so many things that I still, to this day, need her for, and she's not here. And I've held anger at myself. You know, I used to tell myself if you would have stayed, maybe you could have made a difference. If you would have stayed, maybe it could have been a different outcome, like I was a miracle worker or something. Knowing that everything happens for a reason and it's God's plan now, that regardless of what I done, regardless of what I said, regardless of what I chose in my life, I know that one way or another my mom would have been taken from us. Um, I was only 24. I used to have so many visions of my life, you know, that I wanted or I would have wanted to share with my mom. For instance, having children, that used to be one of my things I wanted in life. But my whole outlook kind of changed after my mom's death, because I wanted her here. I wanted her here to help me, to guide me, to influence me as a mother. And I didn't get to experience that. And so it's hard, and it's been so rough holding on to some of these thoughts, some of these feelings, some of these emotions for so long without telling anybody. And it's only been maybe 3 months that I ever said anything to anybody about anything that I held onto for my mom's death. I feel like I had almost like a mental breakdown because I was holding on to it. I held it in. And knowing now what I didn't want to know or I didn't want to believe then, my advice to anybody would seek help. Seek somebody to talk to. Get it off of your chest. Know that nothing you've done could change it. Know that you're not the miracle worker to make things happen differently. Whether it be family, friends, or even if you gotta go and get professional help. That was probably one of my best decisions of my life, was to go talk to my therapist. He definitely opened viewpoints that I didn't want to look at, that I didn't want to believe, I didn't want to accept. And I feel that it's taken so much weight off of my chest by getting those viewpoints. And that's what I would want for everybody else, And another thing I know that helps is to talk about your loved one, whether it be your mother, your father, your sister, whoever. Talk about them. Keep them alive by sharing the memories, by letting the younger generations who may have not known them or known them very little, let them know about them. My mom was an amazing person, and I'll tell anybody and everybody that every single day. And we've made sure that my niece's children know who my mom was, even though they weren't even born when my mom was here. They weren't given the opportunity to know her, but they know her. They could tell you about her. May not be everything that we know, may not be, the important stuff that everybody will want to know, but they know who she is. They've seen pictures, they've got pictures, they've been to the cemetery, and it's now where my 8-year-old nephew could get out of the car and walk directly to my mom's grave without any guidance. So they know, and they love going and talking to her and stuff. And so talk about them. Remember the good times. Remember places that y'all have shared. I'm here at the water right now. Mom used to go to the water or take us kids to the water a lot. We went fishing or crabbing, shrimping, or to the beach. Those are things that Mom done with us when we were little, and those things still remind me of her, and I enjoy those things. My peaceful place, my sanity comes at the water. Just keep them alive. Keep them alive. Don't hold on to so much of these feelings and emotions so long that you don't feel like you have no way out, because there's always a way out. There's always help. There's always guidance. You can come turn this off.